Yo, what's going on, people? So in this video, I'm going to go over the full story of how I turned £200 into my first 100,000. Yo, guys, there's going to be some serious value in this, yeah? So like and subscribe helps the algorithm. You'll be seeing more of my content. It's all about mindset, making money online with e-commerce, and a few of the things that I've overcome that I try to share with you guys. So if you like this video, you like the sound of that, make sure you like and subscribe and you will see more. Now, the reason why I want to do this 100,000 video is because people focus on the millions. All the podcasts you see, all the headlines and clickbait, it's all for millions, right? Because that's the most impressive number. But the thing is that you need to focus on when you're starting out is that first breathing period. You just need that little bit of breathing room. And most importantly, you need that little bit of breathing room financially, and you need the reassurance that you are capable of doing something, right? Because if you start working for yourself and you're trying to earn some money, you need to actually make sure that you believe that you can do it. And that's what that first little win does, that first little piece of business. So it's always important to focus on the first steps, because if you've got high aspirations, yeah, it's great to watch all these guys on YouTube that are making millions and doing X, Y, and Z. But the fact is, what they're sharing in that end part of the journey is not applicable to you. So that's only going to make you feel, down about yourself. So anyway, this is what I did, right? Bearing in mind, I am working class kid from Bradford, yeah. If you're not from the UK, then have a little Google search about Bradford. Not much going on. So if I can do this, anybody can do this. Where it all started out was, right, I've always had entrepreneurial tendencies, and I've got to be grateful for that. I remember the first thing I sold was when I was 9 years old. I've always had it, but I never really put it together in a significant way. I had little business ideas and stuff as a kid, and I were always buying and selling stuff, but obviously, when you're a kid, if you've not got like the proper guidance to make money, then you're not going to be making a significant amount of money. It was all just change. Or I was at college, but I needed a job. So I was trying to get a job. I couldn't get one. I was applying at like JD Sports and flipping just normal retail jobs. Could not get a job anywhere. Couldn't understand why. Had all GCSEs, work experience, whatever, all the stuff that I thought you need. Couldn't get a job anywhere. And at the same time, I was like, I'm applying for a job. I'm doing you the favor. So I was kind of annoyed I couldn't get one, kind of resentful for that. I understand that's not how it works now, but that's what I thought at the time. So I was super broke at college, and I thought I need a job. So I started working market stalls, selling eggs on weekends, yeah. My dad's an egg trader, buys and sells eggs to cafes, like wholesale, and started selling eggs, buying and selling. It made sense because this was sort of like an early introduction to drop shipping in a way, right? So I'd go get the stock off my dad, and as long as I bought it off him, I could give him back the produce, give him back what I didn't sell. So I would not be limited to buying the stuff and having to keep it and sell it the next day or whatever. So I was able to do it at weekends. So it was still my stall, but I had I had that little bit of assistance. And you've got to find that little bit of assistance at the start. Everybody has different opportunities, and that's the thing that you've got to identify. You can look at that and think, oh well, it's easy to say because your dad's a market trader. Well, everybody's got a different advantage off of somebody else. You've just got to find yours. So that's what I started doing. Started my own market stall. And this was good. This was my first introduction to money. And, people had little comments about it. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I didn't give a fuck because I'm trying to make money. That's all I care about. I didn't care about the opinions, what people were saying. I was just trying to make money. And I used to earn about 100 to 120 pounds for a day on the weekend, which when you're 16, 17, that is good money. It felt like a lot of money at the time, so I was like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. But I needed more money, right? The thing is about the market stalls, because I was at college, I could only do one day on a weekend. I could only do a Saturday or a Sunday. Some markets weren't open every week, some were. So I couldn't get the amount of work I wanted. So it was clear to me that if I want to make more money, I need to find another earner that I either don't have to be there for or something that I can do on the other days. So I remember I was just asking everybody, how do I make money? Where do I go? What should I do? Have you got any ideas? Have you heard of anything? Asking everybody I knew how to make money. And somebody suggested I should start going to outlet stores. Now, I knew there was an outlet village in my area, or about 10 miles away. And so I started travelling up while I was at college. Anytime I could get a lift, I didn't have transport at this point. So anytime I could get a lift, I'd get someone to take me. And I remember when I first got there and I went in, and there were 2 pairs of Air Max 97 Silver Bullet Ultras on the shelf. They were about £63, £70, and I could sell them for 120. And that was the first little taste of the win, because I made about £40 each on those pairs, and all I had to do was go to the shop and turn up. So that's when I realised, like, wow, this could be a thing right here. So I started going more, figuring it out. And the thing is, with outlet stores, all the sellers are very private. They're gatekeeping it. There's sort of the daily shoppers that go, and it's hard to get in there because obviously they want all the stock. So it's, as when you're a young kid and you go in there and it's like that, it can be difficult. But I just kept showing up, started talking to people, started learning the products more. I did know a little bit about shoes, but I started really getting involved. I was selling on eBay, selling on Depop. Sales were going pretty good, to be honest. I was buying a lot of rubbish stuff at the start, because you do when you're starting out. But, I was making money. It was like £20 an item, £30 an item, £50 an item. But I was making about £100 a day. Good days even more, bad days even less. But it was money every day. I'd wake up to sales. You'd get sales on weekends. You get sales while you were out. And this was sort of my first introduction to real online money. So I started focusing on eBay. Started selling more. And I even started drop shipping back when shoes were getting popular. So about 3-4 years ago, shoes were really taking off in Europe and in America, right? And I used to actually list stuff that was available for sale in my local trainer shop, which was Size. That's a shop if you're in the UK, And I would list the shoes, sell them on eBay, and then go buy the shoes with the person's money. And it actually used to work. I used to sell them way above retail, but I realised that pairs were selling. And again, this is another variation of dropshipping that I didn't even know about at the time. And this was good until they started running out of stock and I was cancelling orders and it messed my account up. But other than that, I did make some money from doing that. So it's about finding them. What I had to do at the start is I had to find those little pockets of leverage wherever I could. And that's what's important when you're really starting from zero. You have to find where you can leverage other people or other things, because you can't always go and buy the stock. You can't always go and spend the money. So it's important to see where you can squeeze every little last drop out, and the stuff that you can sort of get a little bit of a hack going just to get the capital in. I started going to these outlet stores on a daily basis. Started selling rare shoes, so I'd go queue outside shops, get a pair or two, start reselling those. eBay, Depop. I was also selling at the egg stall still on weekends. I was selling cigarettes that I could get my hands on. I was doing odd jobs for people. I was basically selling everything I could. I was selling some grey area market items that I'm not going to get into, but I was selling everything I could, right? And just to give you an idea of how resourceful I had to be, yeah, I would do the market stalls. Obviously, I'm selling stuff at like £1, £2, £5, right? All the change that I'd get would be in coins. And every time I got like a special edition 50p or 20 pence or £2 or whatever, I'd go home and list it on eBay to sell it. Now, this is how broke I was, right? I had to be super resourceful. So I'd literally take those little coins and I'd go list them on eBay and even try and make money out of those little coins. The thing is, I remember I wanted it so bad. I wanted it so bad. I was sick of not having money. Really sick of not having money. If you've grown up without money, you know that yourself. And yeah, I just wanted to make it happen. But I knew what I need is, I need as much money as I can to buy stock and get to the next level. And I just took this to the extremes in every single way, right? I remember even once I started really making some money doing the outlet stuff, I wouldn't even keep any of the clothing. And I used to dress like I was flat broke, because I never gave myself no access to the money. It was always the business's money, right? So even though I was getting shoes and shorts and whatever, we're getting shorts for like £7.50, I wouldn't even keep any. Because I thought, well, I can sell it for £30, so it doesn't cost £7.50, it costs £30. This is how, how restrictive living I was. And I wouldn't recommend doing it to that, yeah. I'm only telling you what I did. I'm not saying this is what anyone should do. You do need to be resourceful and sort of start saving your money in the beginning, but don't let that become your personality, because that's what actually ends up repelling money. But when it came to business expenses, I paid that. Like, I always paid the business expenses. I knew that those bills need paying. It's just I give no budget for myself personally, which this ended up being a mistake, right? So yeah, my life was just hustling, right? Buying, selling, anything I could do to get money. I was on YouTube watching business-related content. It was quite broad, but when you're just starting out and you're learning about it, you're sort of building up an idea of how money works, and who to listen to, and trying to build your mindset from other people that have already been there and done it right. This is important because people are not going to understand you. The likelihood of your friends and family being entrepreneurial is very small. So you need to try and take some influence from people who have already been there and done that. And that's the good thing about the internet. You can go do that. My business started picking up, squeezing every little bit of cash out as I could. I needed to get rich, man. I quickly realized that the money was attached to the amount of stock that I bought. So with me being in this industry, if I was doing dropshipping in the beginning, then I probably wouldn't be like this because I don't have to buy the stock up front. But in this specific business, when it was the busiest, I was spending probably £1,500 a day. £1,500 a day is a lot of money, right? Especially when you're buying advertisements and rent and staff and all these other things. But I had to keep buying stock. And this is the cycle that I were in. So I had to get as much money as possible together so I could buy the stock. Because the more stock that I bought, the more items that I sold. But this gets into a bit of a hamster wheel, right? I would go into the outlet 7 days a week, every single day. Like when I tell you I didn't miss a day, I did not miss a day. No matter what I did the night before, no matter where I went, no matter who I was with, I never missed a day of the outlet. Because when it was good and the money was there, you have to take advantage, right? You have to take advantage. So yeah, I'd just get home, list them all on eBay, and I'd be making money online, making money around the clock. And I was so busy with eBay, I should have focused on more technical skills. I should have got into Shopify earlier. Because it actually took me a while to build my website, because I started selling on Instagram. I made the brand, and I started selling through DMs, and I used to do bank transfer or cash meetups. I would drive around Bradford and go to the most dodgy estate I've never been to in my life and go meet this random guy that I've met off Snapchat. Drug dealers most of the time. And I'd just sell them hundreds of pounds worth of stuff in car parks. I'd just jump in the car at 17, 18 years old. Guys I've never met before in places I've never been. 4 guys in a car sometimes. I never got robbed in person. I'm not saying these guys were scared of me, but like it was risky, but I did it. But it was cash. I was making a lot of money, right? Making a lot of money at this time. And I was so involved, man. I was so involved. I actually worked that much to where I destroyed my social skills. I was literally going and buying loads of stuff, and then because it took me so long to put it on eBay, I was just inside all the time listing. This is another thing I wouldn't recommend, yeah? Don't put your life on pause. There's a period of time you have to go through, but that's not a 2, 3, 4, 5 year plan, yeah? You've got to do that in little short bursts and then come out of it. Monk mode style that you're hearing today, right? And I built a following, massive local following, and I was selling everything organically, so it was very high profit margin. The stuff from the outlet were very high profit margin, and I had no overheads because I was selling from home and selling organically. So at this point, I was actually making good money. Really good money. Buying a lot of I was spending £1,000 a day the next day. I was literally fighting to spend my money down every day. That's how much money I was making. And it took me ages to get the website. But by the time I did, I was making 10, 20 grand a month straight away. All organically. And this is how involved I was also. And sort of a test of how young I was. I had an office, and I was already making all this money. And the first time I did a P&L, I was making 10 grand a month profit, and I didn't even know, because I didn't even feel the money because of how restrictive I was living. I wasn't paying myself. I was trying to spend all the money on stock the next day, but I was actually making 10 grand a month profit. But I was that busy working, that involved in the business, that involved in buying stock, that involved in selling more. I wasn't interested in telling up how much money I was making. This is just the problems you do when you're young, but that's what I did. So yeah, and that's when I really really started getting some momentum, and I really started building my stock up, and I really had some consistent money coming in. It was this period of hyper focus and work that really, created the foundation to building a real business on top of it. That short period of time where I was just so focused on earning, cutting my spending, filling up my free time with working, really hustling and putting the blinders on and getting involved, where I really made a lot of progress in a small amount of time. And, when you're starting out, it's important that you have to go through that. And, there's a lot of failures and hard times that were involved in that full scenario. But you know what? If you are resourceful and you're inquisitive and you're fine with being wrong and you're willing to put in the work, you can really go from zero to something in a short amount of time. And it's that first little building block that gives you the ability to know that it's real to actually make money. You know, you're proving to yourself it's an actual thing. Because if you've never felt heat before, no matter how many people show you that fire, your brain will not genuinely believe it's hot. Yeah, you've got to feel it. You've got to get that first little taste, that little win, just to unlock in your mind that it's true, right? Just like if you're jumping from a height, if you've ever been scared jumping off a bridge into some water or something like that, yeah. Once you do it, you're not scared of it anymore. That's the same thing. It's sort of the same thing when it comes to making money. If you've not done it, you don't really believe it yet. So that first little period where you can be hyper focused. And another thing, while I don't know how old you are now watching this, but this was when I was very young, right? And what you can do in this time, everybody else is messing around. They're just messing around. So if you're using this time to focus, you're really going to get ahead. Really, really, really going to get ahead. This gets a lot harder to do later on because when you're not wearing the clothes you want and you're not going the places you want and you can't buy the food you want, it takes a bit of more of a toll. But everybody's broke at this age, so you might as well be broke working on something else. You can really build something from nothing. Like, guys, if you focus out here, it's really possible. You've just got to be so resourceful, so resilient, and really just try your hardest and it will come. Those little compounding things day by day do win and build over time. And if you're smart about it, that can be the starting building blocks of something that can really change your life in how you can build something off the back of it. So yeah, if you're wanting to build a business, start making money online, whatever you're wanting to do with your life, don't look at all the guys who are making 100 millions. Like, yes, they've got value to provide 100%, but it's the start that's the hardest, and that's when you're the least prepared, which is funnily enough. But you can get past that. You can get past that. But the stuff that you need to focus on doing there is not the stuff that those guys are focusing on that are making millions online, right? So yeah, hope you got some value in that. This is a brief version of events, of course. I did go through a lot of things in this time. I've lost thousands, been in debt, been robbed, been snaked, all these things. I've got a lot more stories that are attached to this. So if you want to hear an extended version, you'll have to drop a comment and let me know. But yeah, like and subscribe for more. Till next time.